Hello again, this is Preheat. Welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. So I've been busy updating the Season 4 information for Mage, but I do have more Mage videos coming very soon, but I want to talk very briefly about these new updates that Blizzard just posted about Mage talents coming in the War Within. So they say, upcoming Mage updates in the War Within, Double Lust talent has been removed. They said, hello Mages, these updates will be coming to the alpha in the next few weeks, so we won't be able to play them yet. But their goals were to basically change how the rotational complexity is looking and also make it so that we don't have to worry about Temporal Warp. They said Temporal Warp has some experimental issues we aren't happy with, like mages not being able to use it in raid fights where Time Warp is not used at the start of the fight. We're also unhappy with the significant APM requirements it creates and how failing those might snowball into substantially lower damage over the course of a fight. So Blizzard is aware of the issues with Temporal Warp, and it looks like they are just removing the talent. There's more information here, but I want to cover a bunch of other stuff. So this part hasn't actually been officially announced, but this has been data mined. It's not currently in the alpha, so we can't play this stuff yet, but I want to cover it because I think you can get kind of an idea of where Blizzard is going with Fire Mage, the direction they're taking here. So these are presumably new talents that we'll have. At the very top here, we have Ashen Feather. If Phoenix Flame has only hit one target, it has increased damage and applies double the ignite. We have Blast Zone, which makes it so we have up to 5 Living Bombs that are going to be applied by Flamestrike, and Living Bomb now spreads to 8 enemies. Call the Sun King is going to make Phoenix Flame gain an additional charge and always critically strike. This is basically the same talent we have right now. Charring Embers, they're actually adding the current tier bonus in Season 4 as a talent. So Phoenix Flame is going to apply Charring Embers, which makes your enemy take more damage. They've also added Convection here. It says when the Living Bomb expires, if it did not spread to another target, it refreshes its duration and increases its damage dealt by 100%. A Living Bomb can only benefit from this effect once. It looks like they're renaming Searing Touch to maybe Down in Flames, because this does the same thing as Searing Touch with the execute damage on Scorch. Notably, though, it does not include the guaranteed crit strike, which I think is interesting. Explosivo is going to make casting Combustion proc a Living Bomb, and then we also have a chance to proc Living Bomb while in Combustion. Apparently, it's substantially increased procs. Fireball also has the tag for instant, which is really interesting if they want to make this ability just an instant cast. Firefall is going to make it so instead of going off of Fireball and Pyroblast whenever we proc those meteors, it's actually going to go off of Living Bomb explosions, taking 30 of those explosions to proc the meteor. Fire's Ire is going to make it so whenever we're not under the effects of combustion, we have 10% increased crit chance, but during combustion, our crit damage is increased by 10%. Focus Flames is going to make Living Bomb now deal more damage depending on how many targets it hits. So the fewer targets there are, the more damage it will deal, up to 300% at single target. Keep in mind, it's also going to refresh and deal additional damage in single target as well. So those two are probably going to work together. We also have Light and Match. Living Bomb damage always critically strikes, and its initial damage contributes to Hot Streak. So this is really important because remember, they're also making it so whenever we pop Combustion, we proc a Living Bomb for free. And also, if that Living Bomb doesn't have anything to spread to, it's going to re-up on the enemy, so we could potentially get 2 hot streaks from a Living Bomb. This is really cool because it means if we are hard casting an ability and propping Combustion to then maybe queue up a Pyroblast afterwards, we wouldn't have to use an extra Fire Blast there to get our hot streak because our Living Bomb proccing should give us a hot streak there. The new tooltip for Living Bomb says consuming hot streak has a small chance to make your next Pyroblast or Flamestrike turn up to 3 targets struck into Living Bombs that explode after 4 seconds. Up to 5 enemies hit by this explosion also become Living Bombs, but the effect cannot spread further. So we're going to be getting passive Living Bomb procs from Pyroblast and Flamestrike. No idea if these passive procs are going to generate the hot streak heating up interaction there, so we'll have to wait and see. Mark of the Fire Lord is going to make it so Flamestrike and Living Bomb now apply Ignite at 100% increased effectiveness. This is really interesting because it also means that Living Bomb will actually proc Ignite. You'll notice a lot of these talents are dealing with Living Bomb. They're really trying to make Living Bomb a real part of our rotation, and they're making it a damaging ability that actually does something. So this is really awesome. If you are a fan of Living Bomb, you're going to be eating very good in the War Within. Majesty of the Phoenix makes it so whenever Phoenix Flame deals damage to 3 or more targets, your next 3 Flame Strikes have their cast time reduced, and also their damage is increased. So it looks like they're maybe considering some hardcast Flamestrike in this. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And then we have the follow-up to the Phoenix Flame talent we had above, which is basically the other part of the current tier bonus in Season 4, which is making our Phoenix Flames free and deal increased damage. So yes, if you like the Season 4 tier bonus, it is here to stay in the talents, it seems. Pyromaniac is going to make it so casting Pyroblast or Flamestrike while Hot Streak is active has a 8% chance to repeat the spell cast at 100% effectiveness, and it counts as consuming Flamestrike. This is really interesting because it effectively does the same thing as the current version of this talent, but they've changed the wording in a very clever way to make it so that hopefully you don't actually have to wait for the ability to actually hit the enemy to see that you still have hot streaks. So hopefully this should help with the actual gameplay of it, because I know a lot of you, like myself, we aren't really fans of this talent currently. So this could really make it much, much better. Pyrotechnics is basically the same thing as it was before, with a 10% increased crit strike chance whenever we cast Fireball, but they've actually added Field of Fire as well, which is our Flamestrike talent. So Flamestrike should also be benefiting from this 10% increased critical strike chance until we proc the heating up. Quick Flame is going to allow Flamestrike to just deal 30% increased damage. That's a huge increase. Spontaneous Combustion makes it so casting Combustion refreshes all of the charges we have of Fire Blast and Phoenix Flame. This is huge because, as you know, we try to pool all of our charges before we go into Combustion right now, but this means that we won't have to do that anymore, and presumably the rotation will be to use up all of our Phoenix Flames and Fire Blasts and then use Combustion, since we'll get all of those back. Temper Flame makes it so Combustion now grants critical strike damage equal to 25% of our critical strike. So this is kind of a new twist on the improved Combustion if you think about it, because right now, basically our critical strike chance is being converted into Mastery, which means more Ignite, but this is just giving us more damage. It's actually just straight up crit damage. So obviously this is going to affect Ignite too, but this is really, really great because it should really do numbers to help our critical strike scaling at the start of the expansion and as the expansion goes on. So critical strike is probably going to be much better of a stat with these talents. So my main takeaway from these talent updates, obviously I haven't been able to play it. It isn't on the alpha yet, but my main takeaway is they really seem to be focusing on Living Bomb and Flamestrike. A lot of these talents are bringing in cool elements that we experienced in Dragonflight, and it looks like they're trying to revamp and just rework the entire Fire playstyle. And I think this will work really, really well with our Phoenix that we get with Sunfire. So I'm definitely looking forward to these talents, but I want to hear what you think. Leave a comment below if you have some ideas about these talents and some interactions that maybe I missed. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and hopefully I see you in the next one.